Hey gamers, what's up? So let's get right into it. Who else is astonished? No. Sickened. Nauseated. Offended. Repulsed by the boundless greed of developers and publishers lately. Most recently, I've been thinking about the online pass for Arkham City, and I'm nothing short of disgusted and outraged by what they're doing to the gaming community. For those who don't know, Warner Brothers has decided to lock out the Catwoman portion of the game to all but those who have a one-time use code online pass for the game. This is a portion of the story mode that they've been advertising for just about a year now. This is content that is essential to the game. Sure, you can beat it without it, but it is essential to the game. And only one person can gain access to it. Family members, siblings, friends, and so on need to pay a separate $10 to get their own code to play through this content. First off, the obvious. Once you buy this game, its value is decimated the second you open it. If you want to sell it or trade it, it's automatically worth $10 less. Do you think you deserve to be punished for trying to find value in your games once you're done with them? And what about people right here and now that have no way to access that content? Yeah, you may say, oh Muzz, it won't affect many people at all. Let me put it to you that if only one single gamer in the world buys this game new and can't access 100% of the available content because he or she isn't able to connect to the internet, for example, then it's crossed the line. And let's face it, there are potentially millions of gamers that this will affect. There are 110 million PS3 and 360 consoles out there, a 110 million installed base. 69.8% of the world doesn't have the internet. And any one of those people who buy this game are being robbed of content for no good reason. So when I say I think it's reasonable to imagine that at least 5% of the PS3 360 installed base lacks internet access, I don't expect many conflicting arguments. Hell, there are 56.5 million 360 consoles out there and only 38 million Xbox Live accounts. So you try to tell me I'm wrong. And if only 5% of the PS3 360 installed base can't access the internet, then that means 5,500,000 gamers get screwed right off the bat. And these are gamers who buy the game new. This has gone way beyond developers and publishers attacking the used game market. This is pure, unadulterated greed at its very, very worst. So I have to ask, what about the kids who have responsible parents that don't let them use the internet access portion of their consoles? Whoops, they're screwed. It's a Batman game, for God's sake. Parents are going to be buying this game up for their kids throughout the holiday season, and that demographic will not get the full game. We're talking about developers and publishers screwing gamers out of content that they totally deserve to have. Seriously, why are people who buy the game new being screwed? If I buy the game new and my family wants to play it, why should we have to pay $10 each to get the single player content? And what happens 10 years down the road when this content is no longer available? When you can't even buy a new code because the game is no longer being supported. I play games that are 10, 15, 20 years old all the time. They're still complete. I don't deserve that game experience to be taken away from me, especially with games that I buy this week or next year. Don't I deserve the same game experience now that I got decades ago? Yeah, I think I do. So I think I deserve full access to every game I buy. And I don't think it's unfair of me to ask for that. And I have to ask, what happened to the original purpose of Online Pass? According to EA, it was implemented to enhance the online gaming experience, but now it applies to all games. You'll be hard-pressed to find a game that doesn't have an online pass. So how is paying for single-player content enhancing my online multiplayer experience? Where are the massive breakthroughs in my online service? And why, if it's all about the online service, am I being charged for single-player content? And here's the kicker. GameStop is allowed to give out free codes. If this isn't the biggest FU the industry ever threw at small business, I don't know what is. Warner Brothers just took a dump on every other video game retailer by saying GameStop is better. GameStop is privileged. GameStop is somehow more important to them than anyone else in the video game retail industry. Or maybe GameStop just threw some money at them so they could have an exclusive that other stores can't offer. Well, that's great. Proof positive that these companies care about one thing and one thing only. And believe me when I say that one thing is not the gamers. It's not the quality of the product they're selling. It comes to dollars and cents. Whoever has the most gets whatever they want. They screwed every independent video game retailer in the world. They stood up and said they don't care about the smaller businesses. They shouted, "Screw you. You can't sell our game used, but GameStop can." Well, Warner Brothers, that's cool. I canceled my order for Arkham City. No one will be buying it new from my store at all. And I'm saying here and now that I will not sell this game new. I'm not getting it new for myself either. Sure, you don't care. But guess what? People are starting to notice. Gamers are starting to feel cheated. And eventually, they'll wise up to your money-grubbing scheme, and you will lose sales. Just like the ones you lost when I decided not to take your abuse. And don't think for a second that I have a problem telling every single person that comes into my store asking for this game that full access to the game is denied to all but one person in their household. And that if they aren't online, the store is incomplete, and they will not get full access to it. I'll screw them out of every sale I possibly can, the way they're screwing me. And gamers, you should too. Now, let's go into the future. Let's take a look at what the future has to hold. You all buy into this. You take what they give you. You follow like the blind sheep they expect you to be. And it's all a success for them. How long is it going to be before they start selling games that come with codes to play any of the game at all? The way this is going, I see the future where every game comes with a registration code, and the game is useless without it. You switch consoles, hard drives, profiles, or have a family member who wants to play the game, doesn't matter. You have to pay an extra fee for any of those options just for the privilege of putting the game in and playing it, even though you already paid full retail price for it. Don't say it's not possible. Don't say it won't happen, and don't say they wouldn't do that to us, because those are the wrong answers. They most certainly will do that to us. I heard from the naysayers, and I got slammed by the fanatical fanboys over a year ago when I said they'd eventually start taking away single-player content. And as much as I'd love to say you guys were right, sadly, I have to say, I told you so. Don't you feel stupid? So tell me I'm wrong again. Say that you think these companies care about you and I will call you out for the fool you are. This is the future of gaming if we keep taking it, if we keep buying into it, and if we keep turning a blind eye to it. And you know what? This isn't a case where you can say, oh, well, I really want this game, so I'll buy it. But next time I'm with you folks, I've been hearing that over and over. Guess what? If that's what you think, if that's how you respond to the abuse and the greed these bastards are throwing at you time and time again, then you are the problem. You're the reason that this is working. And this is the reason that gaming is going to hell in a handbasket. If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. Plain and simple. Hell, you think I don't want to play Arkham City? Of course I do. It pains me that I've been deprived of it. But I refuse to lay down and take this kind of abuse. This is not the game industry I fell in love with. The industry we all enjoyed for the last 38 years that grew into one of the biggest industries in the world. Is it too much to ask that we have a game industry that we can enjoy without being raped by these corporate morons whose only interest is making an extra buck no matter who they step on to get it? If it means giving the biggest collective middle finger ever to hundreds of millions of gamers around the world in the name of making a few more dollars? That's not the future I want. How about you? You agree? Oh, well good. Do something about it then. Stand up for once and say you're not going to take it. Even if you think your voice won't be heard. Because guess what? It matters. It will be heard. If gamers got together and spoke up, they would be listened to. It doesn't take a rally. We don't need to march on the Capitol. All we have to do is show our strength by not taking any more of their shit. If I can do it, you can too. Spread the word. Share this video. Make one of your own. Put it out there for everyone to see and get the word out. Stop supporting this cyber extortion. Nothing will change until you make the effort. I'll close with this. I got my first game console Christmas morning 1983. An Atari 2600, handed down to me by my aunt and uncle, given to my parents, then given to me for Christmas because we didn't have a lot of money. So this was a huge, huge deal. And I played that console religiously. Christmas morning 2013 will be the 30th anniversary of my gaming beginnings. And I can safely say in those 30 years I've never felt so alienated by this industry. I've supported these developers and publishers for years. And sure, I bought some used games here and there. I've also traded old games for new games. And I've bought new games flat out at retail price, more than I can count. I've made a business of it, and over the last 12 years I've sold thousands upon thousands of new games. I've done more than most to support developers, publishers, and the industry itself over the last 30 years, and this is my reward. This is the reward for all of us, for being gamers, for supporting them, for loving this industry. This is how they return the favor. So ask yourself, do you really think they care about you? Look at every single one of those companies. Ubisoft, EA, Activision, Sony, Warner Brothers, and all the rest of them. Look at where it's going, and you'll know that something needs to be done. The question is, are you gamer enough to do it? Think about it, because I have nothing else to say. Thanks for watching. You guys have a great day. I'll catch you later. On a side note, I think we should all make a call for a return of old school gaming. Those games we grew up on, those games with replay value, all those fun games, the games you can still put in your consoles and play today. The games are selling on Virtual Console, Xbox Live, and PSN because people still love them. Do you really see yourself playing today's games 20 years down the road? Or do you see yourself looking back and saying, man, I got screwed? Because that's what I see. That's something to consider.